Here with Life Cycles Counseling and Maya.
Hey, let me get in focus here.
Please get in focus. Please join us.
Yes, hey guys.
So today is Minisode 19, and we're talking about 10 things your LGBTQ teen would want you to know, minus 8 things. We're only talking about 2, really, because it's a Minisode, and we're going to keep it mini.
Yeah.
So really today we're talking about not only your teen, but, teens worldwide, right? Maybe they're your children, maybe they're not, maybe they're your clients, your students, your relatives, your neighbors, anybody that's sort of faced with figuring out where they fit in the continuum, and the challenges that go along with that. Not only are they a teen, right? Thanks for the like. And struggling with their identity. They're also dealing with, the frontal lobe sort of expanding, and body changes and emotions and becoming more responsible for themselves. Oh yes, and then on top of that, they're sort of figuring out their orientation. Mm-hmm. And so Maya's going to talk about a couple of items that you should be aware of. Maya?
Yeah, so those teenage years, those are the big years. There's just so much going on, like physically and emotionally. It's just like it's a doozy of like what's going on, and among that is just you're figuring out your identity, where you are, and how you fit in this world, if you fit in. Yeah. Your sexual orientation, you're starting to have questions, you're starting to experiment and, really explore that. So I think out of the blog, the 2 most important things that I wanted to talk about was that from the LGBTQ teen, I think what's important to them is that as a parent, they care about what you think. Mm-hmm. It's just so important. It might not feel like it with the teenage angst and everything. It might not feel like your teen cares, but deep down they do. We hear what's called, peer pressure. There's parent pressure. There's parent pressure. It's so important for a teen going through these changes, not knowing exactly who they are, but trying to figure it out. They just want their parents' approval. And then with that possibility of identifying as LGBT-Q, there comes that fear. Because we live in a society where there's so many people against anyone that's different or out of the norm or out of the box, that there's that fear of acceptance, that fear that you won't be accepted by your parents, that fear that your parents will reject you. Maybe even, for some teens, my mom or dad ever found out, they kick me out. Like, it's just such a scary time. Yeah. That it really does matter, how you view your child, because that in turn shapes how they look at themselves. And, self-esteem is what they say to themselves, what positive or negative things they'll say to themselves going forward. And it also, that approval and that showing that you care as a parent and that you accept your child, that will in turn also affect the choices that they make, not only in the present moment, but going forward throughout their life, based upon what you've shown them, how you've nurtured them, how you've accepted them, how you've shown them that love and support. So just be mindful of that and be aware that as a parent, you hold more power, especially in these teenage years. You hold more power than you think you do. And it does matter what you think. It does matter what you say to your child in support and in approval of your child. Another key point that I wanted to bring up in this minisode is it's not a phase. So many parents, so many times you have teens come in and they're going through the exploratory of, their sexual orientation, how they identify gender-wise, and the parents sometimes get into denial. Like, they view the teen as, their child.
Not my teen.
This could never happen to my kid.
No.
How can they possibly know what they are and, who they want to be with? They're still growing. They haven't experienced the world. They're still young. They don't know what they're talking about. Just things like that. Or, they'll just get over it. This is just a phase. They'll grow out of it, and then they'll be normal. You just see different kinds of, things that parents come up with in their mind as far as, and it all comes back to, it's just a phase. It's not a phase. Okay. I'm pretty sure that your child has been thinking about this for a long time. Maybe they couldn't piece together exactly what it meant and exactly what they were experiencing or feeling. But a lot of kids, it didn't just pop out of nowhere and just, bam, hit you in your teens. Some kids were aware as young as like 4 or 5 that, something was different about them. They felt a certain way towards another gender. These feelings have been brewing for a while. Maybe you're just coming into the fold as a parent. But I can assure you it's probably been on the brain, internal for a long time. So I want you to understand that concept that they probably were feeling it for a while. And let's just be clear about it. It's common for, teens to come out or, experience this in that life stage. But it can happen in any life stage, can happen younger than teen years, can happen older than teen years, even in the elderly stage, where we're coming out. So it's not just limited to teens, but just be mindful that it's not a phase. This is how your child or whoever, your neighbor's child, whoever, this is how they're feeling. This is real. It's not going anywhere. And the sooner you come into acceptance of that, the sooner that you can come into, okay, so how do we help you explore this? How do we help you be who it is that you are truly destined to be? So, those were the top 2 important things out of the blog. There's, of course,
so many others. There's 10.
10. There's 10. It's a monster of a blog. So read it.
Just read it.
Read it.
Yeah. And so also, Maya, don't you think that maybe having the parents, once they sort of are able to accept what's happening with their teen, having them create like the safe space for their teen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's what it comes back to is the point of the blog is to understand like what your teens want you to know so that you can be that support system, so you can be that beacon and provide that safe space for your teen to, finish exploring, come into who they are and feel safe in doing it. Feel that, hey, the rest of the world might not accept me, but at least my parents do. If I can't go to nobody else, at least I can go to my parents. So the important thing is to provide that support system, to provide that safe space. And it's not easy as a parent because you guys don't come with a manual. It's not, this is when the child is doing this, this is what you do. It's not laid out. It's not laid out like that. So, and it's not something that, you may be able to do it by yourself as a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's, I think that's part of the solution, is understanding that you don't have to go this alone as a parent. If you find yourself struggling, not knowing how to connect with your teen, not knowing how to support them, how to create that safe space for your child, there are groups, there are therapists like myself and Dr. Silvestri that can help you out, help you provide that safe space for your teen, also work with your teen themselves to help them create that environment. There's just a lot of resources out there that we can help you access to. So you're not in it alone.
No, we definitely don't want you to feel that way because there is such a high prevalence of depression and anxiety in this population. And so the more support we can give these teens, the better off they'll be. And so that's sort of our aim for the blog today. This is what Maya does, in the practice. This is her specialty. So definitely reach out to us and we can help you navigate this difficult terrain. And we are here for you.
All right, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.